Hey everyone, welcome to Mountain Beast Mysteries. Many times in the past, I've spoken about the Bigfoot bodies that some say were recovered from the Mount St Helens area just after the eruption. These stories do seem very outlandish, and to be honest, they're kind of hard to believe. However, I do think that in the wake of a natural disaster like what we saw with Mount St. Helens, the odds of someone discovering a Bigfoot body or some sort of physical remains would be exponentially higher than if there was no disaster. Now, I'm sure you all know that recently there have been some pretty savage floods and landslides in British Columbia, and not only just in British Columbia, but in areas where, yes, there have been plenty of Bigfoot encounters. When events like this happen, I always wonder if somebody afterwards, maybe months or so, happened to stumble across the corpse of a Bigfoot that was in the wrong place at the wrong time and just couldn't get out fast enough. If a body is going to turn up due to some sort of natural cause of death, it would be from something like that, some sort of large-scale natural disaster that happens in a flash. I feel like it has to be some kind of disaster that happens fast and almost without warning. Something that would catch a Bigfoot creature off guard and by surprise. They are, as we suspect, masters of the forest, though. They spend their entire lives out there in the wilderness. One would suspect that they have the ability to sense when things such as floods and landslides are going to happen, but maybe not. The majority of animals out there can sense things like that. Us humans rely mostly, on like sight, sound, and smell mostly when detecting something like a natural disaster, but at that point, it's probably too late. You probably won't make it out. I wonder though if Sasquatch has the ability to sense these kinds of disasters, long before it came to the sight, sound, and smell senses. I would imagine that if there are groups of Sasquatch, they probably know where all the safest locations to reside in are. They most likely take the high ground, obviously away from people and other threats. I'm sure they must know the power of water, and rivers and their ability to erode the ground around them. I'm sure being out in the wilderness 24/7 for the last however thousands of years, they've witnessed plenty of events such as what we just saw in British Columbia, but there's still a chance that maybe one of them was out and about doing Bigfoot things like foraging, hunting, or observing people, and maybe it got caught in a dangerous situation and couldn't get out of it. Maybe it led to the creature's demise, and somewhere out there now, in all the debris of that flood and the landslide carnage, is a Bigfoot body. Maybe on the surface, maybe buried underneath somewhere. I'm definitely not encouraging anyone to go out there to these dangerous areas right now to start looking, but I'm just wondering if maybe in the next few months or so, maybe next summer, some sort of remains will turn up. Maybe somebody will come across them, and maybe somebody comes across them and they report them and they disappear. Maybe the government intervenes and takes the remains away and we never hear about it. Who knows? Something like the Mount St. Helens eruption, though, was the perfect recipe for a body turning up. Whether the stories are true or not, you have a massive event that unfolded very, very fast, and anything in the general vicinity of that volcano was in extreme danger. And most living creatures and people didn't make it out alive. They just got buried without any real chance of escape, in the wrong place at the wrong time. If these creatures are living, breathing, physical beings, then there must be bodies out there somewhere. There has to be. Or they are either something else we can't comprehend, or they just don't exist at all, and we're just seeing stuff out there. Now, I like to think that out there somewhere are the remains of Bigfoot that have just passed on from whatever natural causes. I wonder how many disasters happen like this, but in areas that aren't populated. Surely it must happen quite often. There's so much wilderness out there, especially in British Columbia, that doesn't see a lot of human traffic and just doesn't have eyes on it, Landslides can happen pretty much anywhere in those mountainous, temperate rainforest areas. They get hit with so much rain, especially in the winter, that after years and years of erosion, or after, things like wildfires burn out the roots holding the forest floor together, eventually the land will just wash away. The earth is a dynamic system. It's, always physically changing. Now, I'm sure plenty of known animals get caught in terrible situations and end up perishing. And that's just nature. And if Bigfoot is real, then he is certainly part of that nature, part of that system. Unless they're invincible, I doubt that over the years some of them haven't succumbed to the forces of nature. These unstoppable natural disasters. It's kind of like how I imagine the Dyatlov Pass incident went. The story of the 9 Russian hikers that all died on that mountain way back, I think it was in the 50s. I imagine something sudden happened that they just couldn't get away from that caused that event. I've made multiple videos on that before. I do not think it was a Bigfoot or a Yeti creature of some kind. I think it was something sudden, something that happened that didn't give them time to properly escape, and they got literally caught with their pants down, and they ended up all perishing from whatever ways. But if you want to learn more about that, you can go find those videos on my channel. Just search Mountain Beast Mysteries Dyatlov Pass or something like that. Me and Ben from 401 Files, we talked quite a bit on that in one video, and we have our theories about that. Anyways, getting kind of off topic there. That's all I have for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on Mountain Beast Mysteries.